I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Right.
Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
Anyone claiming that America's economy is in decline is peddling fiction.
I've abandoned free market principles to save the free market system.
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
Raising the debt ceilings does not increase our debt. It does not somehow promote profligacy.
I know words. I have the best words. Nobody knows the system better than me, which is why I alone can fix it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Peddling Fiction Podcast. I am your host, the voice and soul of so-called fiction, Johnny Profita, and back with me on Black Wednesday, just before Thanksgiving, for our one episode of the week, is Justin Hillbilly Boy Campbell. How you doing over there?
Good. Do they actually call it Black Wednesday? I don't know.
I think, well, we used to call it, or maybe it was Blacked Out Wednesday or something, because everybody would go to the bar after work on Wednesday. Like a lot of times your office would close early or something. You'd have like half a day, and then you'd just go get rocked the day before Thanksgiving. Blacked Out Wednesday, I think. Yeah, maybe that's what we called it. I don't know.
Hydrate properly.
There you go. Yeah. Did you get everything you needed for your Thanksgiving dinner? All $58.08 of it? That's what I forgot to send you. I meant to talk about that. Apparently, you can feed a family of 10 for $58.08. And it's the lowest price of a Thanksgiving dinner since 2021, I think they were saying. Something along those lines.
Man, they're like, this is more of this bullshit that they've been running with for the last 6 months. Inflation is down, the economy is doing better, the price of everything has come down. Like, where? For who?
Right.
Like,
yeah, I mean, this was
and it's why, honestly, it's why they lost the election as badly as they did, because they keep running all of this bullshit that the average American looks at. You look at these reporters on the news that are saying, oh yeah, the economy is so much better and inflation is down. I don't understand what everybody's complaining about. It's like, yeah, because you don't live in the fucking real world. Like,
yeah. So I saw this post and I was like, dude, there's just no way that you could forget about Thanksgiving dinner, just a regular dinner, a well-balanced regular dinner. You're not feeding 10 people for under $60. I'm sorry. That's just, I know they take like a national average or something like that, but in a lot of parts of the country, that's fucking impossible unless you're feeding them slop or just like rice and beans and things like that. So then I dug into the comments, and this is the Thanksgiving feast that you can enjoy for $58. There's a 16-pound turkey for $25.67. Now that seemed like a ridiculous price to me. But I did see this one guy posted, he's like, yo, he got a 23 or 24-pound turkey for $9. And I was like, dude, you got a fucking turkey for like 39 cents a pound. I'm going to need to see a fucking receipt. And he named the place at Hannaford's or something. I never heard of it. So I went to their website and they were selling fucking turkeys for 39 cents a pound. I don't know what that store is or where it is, but I was on the phone with my mom the other night and her turkey cost like $40-something. And it was a 12 and a half pound turkey. So there's that. You get 12 ounces of cranberries for $2.35. You get 3 pounds of sweet potatoes for $2.93. Carrots and celery, a half pound each for 84 cents. 16 ounces of green peas, $1.73. 2 pie shells for $3.40. Cubed stuffing, a 14-ounce box of it is $4.08. Dinner rolls, $4.16. 30 ounces of pumpkin pie mix, $4. A gallon of whole milk and some whipping cream. There's your Thanksgiving feast. Now, what they're doing with, so, I mean, the cranberries, you need things, you have to add stuff to, like, are they just boiling all these things and putting them on a plate? Or are they using butter and seasonings? Do you put anything else in the stuffing other than carrots, celery, and bread? That's your stuffing? Your pies are pumpkin pie canned mix. I mean, this is the most depressing. Everybody gets 1.6 ounces of peas. You get 3 spoonfuls of peas and no more. It's not enough to go around.
Where are the green beans? Where's the macaroni and cheese? Where's the corn? Where's
the gravy?
Where's the ham? Well, yeah, where's the gravy? Where's what?
I don't know. I mean, this is bare bones. I would be embarrassed to serve this dinner to people. And there's just, okay, so that's $58. It's a moderate decline doesn't erase the dramatic increase of 2 years ago. Yeah, so I got like 2 years ago when we had like the really high inflation, Thanksgiving dinner was like crazy high. And I think what did they point to that was like moderately cheaper? There was like one ingredient or something. I forget what Joe Biden pointed out that he was highlighting. It's like, yeah, but this went down by 15 cents.
Yeah, we brought the cost of sweet potatoes down.
Right. And it's just like, I don't know. What about sweet potatoes? What about regular mashed potatoes?
Mashed potatoes?
And gravy. And then you need a bunch of butter for that. You got to baste this turkey in something. I mean, this is just, I don't know. I don't know what you do with a gallon of milk either. But I'm going to drink at least 2 bottles of wine. Where's that? Like, no alcohol being consumed on the premises. Yeah. A lot of people drinking beer. I'm slamming a couple bottles of wine. Yeah, so I'd need like 10 bottles of wine if I'm entertaining. Bottle a person. But yeah, I just thought this was absolutely hilarious that they were trying to say that was a great deal on Thanksgiving for 10 people, $58. But yeah, that one dude got Hannaford's or something. 39 cents a pound for a turkey. That's an incredible price. Like, just buy all the turkey. I think there was like a limit that so many you could buy. Otherwise, you're eating turkey for the rest of the year.
We found we actually had to run to the store this morning to get some stuff. We're doing some cooking, and me and the kids are home today, and so we're doing some cooking and some other stuff. And we had to run to the store this morning, and they had some bacon on sale. It was like $2.27 a pound or something, which is like pretty good for bacon. So we loaded up, but I didn't take all of it. I just took like half of the bacon that they had. And my son was like, "Just take it all." I'm like, "No, I don't need it all." Like, I get it though. Like, if you can find a deal like that, then by all means load up.
Yeah, I mean, dude, something under $1 a pound for meat. This day and age, I mean, that's a great fucking deal. So yeah, I think you could probably only get one turkey or like one per person or something like that. But yeah, that's, again, we were saying these things do have crazy sales like that every once in a while. And you have to have that extra refrigerator or freezer to throw that stuff in there. It's one of the best hedges against crazy inflation, which I think we're still going to see a lot of in the coming years. So throw down for an extra freezer and load that shit up when things go on sale. And then you just pull from it whenever you feel like having bacon or steak, turkey, whatever it is.
This grocery store here in town, a year or so ago, they had like a truck that wasn't supposed to come in that had a bunch of like big briskets on it that they didn't have room for in the store. So they were running the briskets, buy one, get one. So yeah, it's like $40 for a brisket, but you get a second one for fucking free. And it's like, okay. So yeah. I'm like, hell yeah, I bought one.
Shouldn't be. I haven't eaten really anything today. I'm super fucking hungry. We should stop talking about food.
Well, I mean, we can stop talking about food and push on more talking about, the wine drinking and all the other drinking that'll be going on for Thanksgiving. It seems like Kamala Harris might have started a little bit early.
I just have to remind you, don't you ever let anybody take your power from you. You have the same power that you did before November 5th. And you have the same purpose that you did. And you have the same ability to engage and inspire. So don't ever let anybody or any circumstance take your power from you. Just have to remind you. Don't you ever let anybody take your
This is, dude, so she has just been like in Hawaii, apparently relaxing. But she looks like a fucking haggard mess. Dude, this is like one of the most quintessential drunken speeches from a chick you'd ever get. Don't let anybody take your power away from you. Yeah, she's a couple bottles in and she looks like shit, dude. She aged on vacation. It must have just been a crazy bender for 2 weeks, just getting fucking rocked every night in Hawaii. You'd think you'd come back looking a little refreshed and everything, but ooh, haggard mess. And dude, I don't want to be a fucking dick, but like she should do something about her neck. That wrinkly neck thing she should get that worked on. Get that fixed. I'm sure they could do something with it. It's very off-putting.
Hey, they say she's going to run again in 2028.
I heard that. Yeah, she's not going to give up the fight.
Front runner.
Yeah. Okay. A lot. Yeah. So 4 years, a lot's going to change in 4 years. I think we've all been through the last couple 4-year cycles. Very, for sure. Yeah. 8-hour peddling fiction happy hour. That was a good one. But yeah, there's also, they're floating her out there as the next governor of California, which I could probably see that. That seems a lot more plausible than her running for president again. She's terrible. Absolutely fucking terrible. I hope they can do better in 4 years for their sake. But yeah, sure. Run her again. See how that goes.
Could you imagine her on a debate stage with JD Vance? Like Vance won't get distracted by the moderators. Like Vance is going to focus on just tearing her down piece by piece. It would be epic. Like if they thought Biden in that first debate against Trump this year was bad when they like literally ran him out on a rail afterwards, well, they had to wait and try to see if they could get Trump out of the picture first. And then when that didn't work out, then they ran Biden out on a rail. Like if people thought that was bad, JD Vance dismantling Kamala Harris would be epic. I was looking forward to Biden, Harris, and Kamala having to debate JD Vance or somebody like that in the vice presidential debate. Her like going against him on the presidential debate stage, that would be amazing.
Yeah, and her best moments too was when she just baited Trump into like some something about his ego or his crowd sizes. He's not going to take that bait either. He is a very polished and smart guy. He's not there. Dude, that would be just the greatest juxtaposition of like DEI versus competency. That's how I would frame the entire fucking campaign. Because she's literally, dude, she's terrible at everything. And that's the first time we've heard from her since she lost this election. And she gave that speech, her concession speech or whatever. I don't think we've heard from her in a couple of weeks.
She's probably been kind of busy over the last 2 or 3 weeks. Apparently the DNC has fired approximately 2/3 of its staff. She's been out there. She's been out there doing her best Trump impression. You're fired. You're fired.
Yeah, I heard that. And they didn't give us any severance. Yep, sorry.
They spent all that. They spent all that on celebrity endorsements that got them exactly nothing.
Yeah, and that's probably why they're still talking about floating her out there for 2028. I bet she's just trying to raise more funds to pay off the campaign debts. I still can't get over the fact of how much money they spent in 3 months, dude. And she was bragging about it. I saw a clip of her bragging about it. She's like, thanks to you guys, we raised $1.4 billion. You blew it in 3 months. Dude, that's like Brewster's Millions. Did you ever see that movie? Oh my God, dude. It's with Richard Pryor. He gets like $40 million or something from his like long lost dead uncle. And if he can spend it all in 40 days or something without acquiring any assets, he gets 400 million or something, but he can't acquire anything. So he just has to blow through 40 million. And he's like coming up with all these ways to spend this money without like getting anything. And at one point he does run for an office. I forget what the like for governor or mayor or something like that, just to blow some fucking money. But dude, blowing through 1.4 billion and having that bad of a campaign, losing that badly is just, it's unbelievable.
Because of your efforts, get this, we raised an historic $1.4 billion, almost $1.5 billion from grassroots supporters alone. The most in presidential campaign history.
And accomplished exactly jack fucking shit with it.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that's like twisting the knife or something. It's like, hey, you gave me all this money and I blew it, got absolutely nothing for it. Lost to Donald fucking Trump in humiliating fashion. It's amazing, man. And that's just, it's so much money, dude, in like 3 months. 15 weeks. That's just crazy, man. I just don't know how you do that. Only a fucking government could do that.
I mean, this was a woman we're talking about. Have you ever, I mean, you know, this is why you don't give your wife the credit card. Just throwing it out there.
Oh, shit. Yeah, it's crazy, man. And she's still got campaign debts. So you know, I don't think they have any cash on hand. If they did, I feel like they'd be paying the people that they owe money to and not asking for more campaign donations. But
I love how the woman who raised $1 billion ended up $20 million in debt and can't pay her staff, yet she was going to fix the economy.
Yeah. Right. It's we dodged a bullet there. We certainly dodged a massive bullet. And I'm pretty impressed with the American people. They didn't take the Kamala Harris bait. I have a very low bar for the American people. But yeah, that would have been an unmitigated disaster with her at the helm. Donald Trump, on the other hand, we'll see. He's finished with his cabinet picks. Did I send you that article that's kind of got like the whole breakdown of it?
I didn't see
Zero
it.
Hedge.
I can probably find it pretty quick.
It was on Zero Hedge. So his most recent, or at least the one that I heard most recently, was Dr. Jay Bhattacharya.
Yes.
Am I saying his name right?
Yes.
That was the best. It was like a combination of, like, I was joking on Twitter. I was like, this is what, like, if you can absolutely troll the fucking COVID regime and do the right thing at the same time, that's perfection. There's probably not a better person to name for the director of the NIH than this guy. And it's the ultimate fucking troll at the same time. It's beautiful. You want to read some of that for us? What does his statement say?
So Jay says, I'm honored and humbled by President Donald Trump's nomination of me for the next NIH director. We will reform American scientific institutions so that they are worthy of trust again, and will deploy the fruits of excellent science to make America healthy again. In Trump's announcement, let's see. He says, I'm thrilled to nominate Jay Bhattacharya, MD, PhD, to serve as director of the National Institutes of Health. Dr. Bhattacharya will work in cooperation with RFK Jr. to direct the nation's medical research and make important discoveries that will improve health and save lives. Jay is a professor of health policy at Stanford University, a research associate at the National Bureau of Economics Research, and a senior fellow by courtesy at the Stanford Institute for Economic Policy Research, Stanford Freeman Spogli Institute, and the Hoover Institution. He directs Stanford's Center for Demography and economics of health and aging. His research focuses on the health and well-being of vulnerable populations, emphasizing the role of government programs, biomedical innovation, and economics. Jay is a co-author of the Great Barrington Declaration, an alternative to lockdowns proposed in October of 2020. His peer-reviewed research has been published in economics, statistics, legal, medical, public health, and health policy journals. He holds an MD and PhD in economics from Stanford University. Together, Jay and RFK Jr. will restore the NIH to the gold standard of medical research as they examine the underlying causes of and solutions to America's biggest health challenges, including our crisis of chronic illness and disease. Together, they will work hard to make America healthy again.
Yeah.
So Jay was, so for everybody that was like concerned that like Trump didn't learn anything from COVID, and because I know there was at least one pick, if not two, that were staunch advocates of, maybe it was his Surgeon General pick was a big vax proponent. People are like, oh, look, he didn't learn anything. The Jay Bhattacharya pick should alleviate some of those concerns.
Yeah, that was a great pick. There's been some pretty questionable ones along the way. It's kind of all over the place. It's very Donald Trump. It's just like, here's a great pick, here's a terrible pick, here's like one that nobody really fucking cares about.
The big thing to look at with the ones that people don't like is they are some of the most loyal Trump supporters. They have been Trump supporters since 2016, since he first came on the scene. Like, they're the ones who have always had his side. Think whatever you want about the shit that they did 25 years ago. Like the one that's his pick for Secretary of the Treasury, I think it was. I can't remember exactly, but people are like, oh, he worked for the Soros Fund. It's like, yeah, in 1997. Like, there are certain parts of the inner workings of things where if you're going to actually be successful, you have to walk through certain doors, and there are certain gatekeepers on those doors, and they're a lot of times people we don't like. But if you're going to advance, you have to walk through those doors. It's like Milei and Maloney in Argentina and Italy, respectively. They served on some WEF committees at some point in the last 20 years. And people, as soon as they won, they're like, oh, look, they're WEF plants. They're just here for the World Economic Forum to push things forward for them. It's like, no, you don't get to these levels of power without shaking those hands and walking through those doors at some point. Like, if you want to be an eternal loser, then just don't ever do those things. And it's cool. You'll never have any power influence, but to understand the way power works and to actually use the system to get yourself in a position, that's sort of what you have to do. And I look at some of those from that. There's also a bunch of people that are like, oh my gosh, look at where this guy was real pro-Zionist. He took money from Israel. It's like, yeah, that's like outside of like Thomas Massey. You don't go in politics unless you do that. Sorry, that's the reality of the thing that we live with.
I just sent you the article that has all of his picks if you want to actually point to the people that you're talking about. But yeah, I mean, the good news is about, like, we don't really have a treasury. It's just full of IOUs. There's no like, they shouldn't even call it the treasury anymore. I don't really know what are they going to do, really? What's the Secretary of Treasury actually going to do? Regardless, unless you put fucking Ron Paul in there or something, they're just going to keep doing the exact same thing. They're going to keep issuing treasury bills every time our fucking debt comes due. So I don't know. I mean, the financial state of the United States of America, I think, is beyond repair. So who cares? I don't know.
Here we go. We'll run through.
He worked for Soros. Yeah, it's like, okay, he worked for Soros 30 years ago. That doesn't mean that he's like, he's like a Soros like puppet or something. Right, apparently,
that's Scott Bessent that we're talking about. So he was a very successful trader for a while. Worked his way up through the ranks of some smaller firms. Earned himself a managing spot at the head of the big Soros fund. He did that for like 2 or 3 years, and then he broke off, started his own fund Soros backed him to like with $3 billion within 3 or 4 years. He paid 100% of that back and has been running his own very successful firm ever since then. I think he gave his firm up in like 2017 and started doing more political stuff. So like the dude's not like us. He's not like a big Soros guy. Like he worked for Soros for a while, took money from Soros to start his own fund, and then paid it all back. Pay $3 billion back within 3 to 4 years. You're pretty fucking good at what you do. I think he's a decent pick. Just an idea. Yeah, and like Magoo says, Matt Gaetz didn't take Zionist money, and look what they did to him. Like they threw everything in the kitchen sink at him to get him out. So
yeah, they certainly did. Yeah, a bunch of those highly questionable allegations. They're still floating around.
But so like Doug Burgum as Secretary of the Interior. Burgum's one of them we talked about when the Republican debates were going on. That was actually like moderately decent. He was also one that was being strongly considered for vice president up until like he was one of the front runners on some of the betting sites for vice president up until like the last week or so. But Burgum has a lot of really big connections with the gas and oil companies. And like so him Secretary of the Interior, that's good for domestic energy policy.
What state is he from again?
One of the Dakotas, North Dakota, I believe.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He was saying all the right things in that debate. It was just like you could just tell he was never going to get any support.
Right. He's a constitutionalist, and like he's a little bit of a early 2000s hawkish type on some things, but not across the board. He's an old school like Republican, not necessarily a like new conservative type, but he's very much a like grassroots Republican type. And I mean, he's a good dude for the Secretary of Interior because, like I said, he has a lot of connections in the oil and gas firms. I think he was one of the, if not the richest governors in the country, and it's 100% because of his energy sector connections. For whatever that is worth.
All right. Yeah.
They really hate John Radcliffe and Pete Hegseth for director of CIA and the Secretary of Defense.
Yeah. I mean, and dude, the Hegseth allegations are just so ridiculous. He clearly just banged some fucking slut whore, and whose husband was in the same hotel like with their kids. She goes back with this guy, fucks him, and like stays too long. And then she has to go back to her hotel room where her husband is and has to come up with some fucking story. It's like the most ridiculous fucking claim. Of course, she's just a lying fucking whore. And people are running with this story like he drugged her. That was like, yeah, he drugged her somehow and got her to come up to his room. But she's on camera like 10 minutes before they go up there, and she's like fucking all over him. And her friends were saying like there was no indication that she was drugged, like she was fine. Yeah. It's I
am glad he picked somebody other than Thomas Massey for Secretary of Agriculture. I like the idea of Massey for Secretary of Agriculture, but I like Massey in the House a lot more. Like,
yeah,
like early on when it was looking like he was really going to be robbing a lot of good House and Senate Republicans from the current roles that they're in. It's like, let's like pump the brakes on that. There are plenty of people that can fill these roles without gutting the House and the Senate. So I'm glad some of that direction changed once they got going.
Yeah. All right. Well, there was some other good news for Donald Trump and company, because they've officially dismissed a lot of the cases against him. This might take a minute to get through because there's so many fucking cases. But yeah, so Jack Smith has moved to drop all the trumped up charges that they had against him. Can you scroll through? They break it down case by case.
So in Washington federal court, Smith filed a motion to dismiss the election case, which has to first be approved by the judge, and cited longstanding Department of Justice policy stipulating that the criminal prosecution of a sitting president would violate the U.S. Constitution by undermining the ability of the country's chief executive to function. Based on the department's interpretation of the Constitution, the government moves to dismiss without prejudice the superseding indictment. So Trump's cases from Jack Smith are being removed. In Florida, a prosecutor moves to drop the appeal, dismissing the appeal to defendant Trump will leave in place the district court dismissing the indictment without prejudice as to him, and that's about his the classified documents bullshit, which was always complete bullshit. Like, the FBI was literally at Mar-a-Lago the week before they raided him, making sure that all of the documents were secure where they were supposed to be, and then literally a week later they raided him to say that he had all of these documents that he wasn't supposed to have. Like,
yeah, and if I remember this one correctly, the judge had already fucking tossed this one, and then Smith appealed that ruling to try to keep it going.
Right.
And
so
now
this had already been thrown out, but they appealed to try to get it back, to get it brought back up, like before the election.
Yeah. So that's 2 down. How many more we got to go?
In New York, the case against Trump for his 34 counts of felony counts of falsifying business records, in paying off a porn star or some dumb shit like that. This has been postponed indefinitely. The judge, Juan Mercan, has indefinitely delayed sentencing for Trump in the business records case. And it looks like they're also going to permit Trump to move forward with his request for an immediate dismissal of the case, which would effectively nullify and drop all 34 of the felony counts. So now we don't actually have a convicted felon as our president anymore, which actually fucking sucks. Like that's the worst possible outcome. Like, let him be a convicted felon, just say that he won't ever be sentenced. Because what are they going to do? Like, so what it looked like at, like, worst case scenario for Trump, I guess you could say, was that they would suspend sentencing until after he leaves office. But now the judge is allowing them to move forward with dismissal, and probably it's going to get dismissed.
Yeah, I feel like if I was the judge, I wouldn't be allowing them to move forward with that if I wasn't going to dismiss the case. Yeah. Yeah, this is
so Georgia,
allegedly, falsified business records, which is a misdemeanor that was past the statute of limitations. But because of their novel legal theory, they were able to say, oh, but he was falsifying business records to cover up another underlying felony. What that felony was, they never said. They claimed election interference, which I don't think that's a felony. So yeah, that whole case was complete bullshit. But that one's really going to stick in the craw of all the fucking deranged leftists out there who love to just say, convicted 34 counts. Oh my God. And
so this one is the interesting one in Georgia. This is the Fani Willis case, with the election interference stuff. So while several of his co-defendants, including lawyers Sidney Powell and Jenna Ellis, entered into plea agreements with Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis's office, a Trump co-defendant in January filed court papers revealing that Willis was in a relationship with her top prosecutor in the case. So the Fani Willis thing, Trump's election interference in Georgia, this case hasn't been officially dismissed, but and this is what the NBC legal analyst was talking about the night of the election. He's like, this thing is in legal purgatory. Like, there's no clear path for it to move forward because Fani Willis and the prosecutor have become embroiled in so much drama and like bullshit surrounding their relationship and the way that they proceeded with the case and exchanging of evidence and stuff like that. So there's not a way for this to legally move forward without it tanking Fani Willis and her boyfriend prosecutor's careers, but also they want to be hard asses and not let go of it. So odds are it'll never move forward, and probably as soon as Trump takes office, it will be quietly dismissed behind the scenes and everybody will just forget that it ever happened. But for now, there's no like real clear cut what's going on with this, mostly because of the utter shit show that is Fani Willis and the prosecutor.
Yeah, Fani Willis.
She got reelected, by the way. Like, how the fuck? Be better, Georgia. Be better. Talking to you, Magoo.
Dude, she was in that dude's phone. What's the guy's name? The prosecutor?
I can't remember now. It's been a while.
Gorilla Grip Pussy Pal. That's how she was in his phone. For those of you that forgot her nickname.
I mean, that's a compliment unlike any other, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Gorilla Grip Pussy Pal.
Yes, sir.
And then the other case
got reelected.
The other case that's still up in the air. Trump earlier this year was ordered to pay $454 million in a civil fraud lawsuit that he had lied about his wealth, about the wealth of his, or about the value of his real estate empire. This is still pending. They're waiting on an appeal on an appellate court to make a decision on if there was overreach by New York Attorney General Letitia James. Letitia James has sworn that she will continue to pursue this for ever and ever. Amen. This was always one of those things that every single legal analyst on the planet said this is absolute bullshit and no one would ever proceed with this case if they actually had a grain of integrity, and yet it went forward. So we'll see how the appellate court handles it, especially now that he's been elected president. This is one of those that might get thrown out, but
yeah, they're really excited about this one on the deranged part of the country because it's a New York civil case, so it's like the federal stuff doesn't apply. But yeah, this was the banks loaned him a bunch of money based on estimates of his property values, which he even said there was like a legal disclaimer, I remember, on the documents being like, hey, these are my estimates. These aren't like official numbers or something like that.
And the banks even said they had no problem with it. They're like, yeah, he paid everything back. It's not like it was a big deal.
Yeah. So there's no like damaged party here, which is like the weirdest fucking thing ever. They're just like, oh yeah, he lied about the value of his properties. He defrauded these banks, and the banks are like, nah, we're good. He paid it all back. We looked at his numbers. We made adjustments. We knew his numbers were bullshit, and we agreed. Like, we negotiated and we agreed on this amount, and he paid it back. We would do it again.
Like who is the party that's getting the $454 million fine that he's having to pay? Like the state of New York. Like the state of New York is just trying to sue Donald Trump to fund their own financial shortcomings. Yeah, because the bank already said like there's no damages to pay to the banks. The banks already recouped 100% of everything they loaned him.
Yeah, and said they would do it again.
Yeah,
any day of the week and twice on Sunday. So yeah, this is just the fucking federal. Well, it's not the federal, but this is the government mafia coming after you, just robbing you blind. It's amazing the way that Donald Trump can get them to fucking expose themselves. I'll never get tired of seeing it.
Speaking of expose themselves, the leftists in France are demonstrating against Trump. We're not going to show that because I don't know how far you can get away with showing French tits on YouTube. And we just got back on YouTube. We've already had a warning and a strike, and I was able to get the strike overturned. Like, Johnny won't stop saying shit that gets us.
I had a video removed from TikTok too.
It's like it gives me the timestamp of where it is, and I go right to the timestamp, and it's just you in the middle of a tirade about something. It's like, oh god damn! Half the time I'm not even on the screen. Like, I've turned my camera off so I can go get a drink or something.
No, you're not supposed to leave me alone. Unsupervised. Yeah, the TikTok one. It didn't even tell me what it was. It was just the clip where we were talking about the pedophiles moving to Blue Sky.
Nice.
And it was like, yeah, this is misinformation or something.
Yeah, they don't like pedophile talk on TikTok. You know, that's one of those
I don't even know if it was something in the clip, because I shouldn't have put the description. I said, like, jokingly in the description, I was like, yeah, Elon Musk cracked down on child porn, and all the purveyors of it moved to Blue Sky. I think
those are words on TikTok.
Yeah. So, all right.
But we're not going to show the French tits. They weren't all that impressive anyway. We will show the Argentinian women who are protesting and doing some sort of a tribal dance in protest of Elon Musk, Donald Trump, and Javier Milei.
What is wrong with these people, man?
They're always really impressive. And by impressive, I mean crazy as fucking shit.
What do they think this is going to do? Doing a stupid fucking dance and chanting. This is gonna solve everything.
That was really impressive looking.
Oh my god, yeah.
That chick kind of looks like Kamala Harris's
stepdaughter. Yeah.
Hang on, I got a video of her somewhere. There we go. Yeah, they kind of look alike here.
Such a big fan of you. Same, girl, same. I can't even believe you know who I am, and are you kidding me? I can't believe you know who I am. Oh well, you are like a breath of fresh air. Every kid I know is just like knows your name, is singing your praises. The way that you play with fashion and just are unabashedly yourself is the most exciting thing I've ever seen. What are you wearing? Okay, so I'm wearing Coach tonight, and what's so special about this is made of hand-spun yarn out of all of their old fabric swatches. They really just understood my style and my whole ethos of sustainability. What has been the biggest influence on your style? Most of my inspiration is like objects. I'm a collector. I have like tchotchkes all over my apartment.
That's enough of that shit. Holy fuck.
At first, I thought that was like a fake dubbing. When they first started talking, I thought they were like somebody just dubbed over this. But I thought she was like anti-capitalism or something. She's wearing Coach.
You know how anti-capitalism works with these rich folks. Like they're only anti-capitalism where the capitalists are making money. If they can use it to spin their own thing, then they're totally good with it. Yeah.
This is hand spun using recycled horse shit. Okay. Yeah, and you make it look beautiful, hon. She should have gone to Hawaii, man, gotten some sun. A little pale there. What else we have on our Blacked Out Wednesday here?
So Trump is like pissing off all of the foreign chicks. I don't know how that works out. So we had the French protest, so we're not going to show because of unimpressive titties. We've got the Argentinian protest, and apparently he's got some. Is this Trump or is this Joe Rogan? It doesn't matter. They're all the same thing. They got some Australian chick all kinds of pissed off too.
I have a question about Joe Rogan, and you've sort of touched on elements of this in the US. He's
obviously the world's most popular podcast host. He has 3 billion listeners. He's sort of managed to successfully capture that bro market in America. And his influence is such that in the wake of the US election, the Democrats have said that one of Kamala Harris's mistakes was that she didn't appear on his program. So I'm just wondering if you had any observations about what's behind the Joe Rogan effect, how you believe he's managed to so successfully capture this huge market. And then for us here in Australia, you know, how would or should the ABC be going about capturing that kind of audience?
Look, I'm not sure that I'm the right person to respond to that question. I am not a consumer or enthusiast about Mr. Rogan and his work.
Shocking.
I am not one of the 3 billion, and I'm unlikely to be 3 billion and one anytime soon. I think people like Mr. Rogan prey on people's vulnerabilities. They prey on fear. They prey on anxiety. They prey on all of the elements that contribute to uncertainty in society, and they entrepreneur fantasy outcomes and conspiracy outcomes as being a normal part of social narrative.
Remember when Australia was inhabited by a bunch of criminals and not a bunch of faggots? Those are good old days.
Yeah, Australia really went off the deep end, especially with the COVID stuff. Yeah, preying on anxiety and what? The hell is he talking? Well, clearly he admitted he doesn't listen to Joe Rogan. So he has no idea what he's talking. Like, how can you say those two things when you're like, oh, I've never seen it, I never watched it, I'm not one of the 3 billion, but clearly this is what he's doing. How could you possibly say that if you've never fucking watched it? They all look, dude, they all just look like these evil fucking characters too. All these people that are anti-Joe, like, I don't know, dude. How could you just, Joe Rogan is so inoffensive. It's like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. And it was not a mistake for Kamala Harris to pass on Joe Rogan. That would have been an unmitigated disaster. It was a mistake to pick a candidate that can't do Joe Rogan, but it was not a mistake for her to not do the show. She would have looked awful. Absolutely awful. And it's not from Joe Rogan like trying to make her look awful. It's just the fact that she's not a real person. And Joe Rogan would put that on full display, how inauthentic she is.
How long do we have to wait before Elon Musk officially buys MSNBC?
I heard it was not going to happen. They were going to block him from buying it.
Like, how the fuck can they block Elon Musk from buying MSNBC, but they'll allow The Onion to buy InfoWars, even though The Onion wasn't the highest bidder? Like, you'll just let whoever you want to buy info, like, investigated, and everybody responsible for this sort of shenaniganery bullshit, they all should be in fucking jail. Like, that's got to be illegal. There's no way that that's like above board in any fucking way.
No, and I think, aren't they looking into that? I think the judge was like, this, you can't like strike some sort of backroom deal with the families to take a lower bid just because they want to stick it to them or something.
Yeah, and I think there is some legal avenues being pursued in the InfoWars purchase stuff.
Yeah. I think they'll probably end up not selling it to The Onion if I had to guess, but
well, The Onion hadn't been funny in 10 fucking years. Like, The Onion stopped being funny about midway through the Obama administration.
Yeah, I don't even see, I used to see things from The Onion every once in a while. I didn't even see unfunny things from them. I just never heard from them again.
They got replaced by Babylon Bee. Babylon Bee actually became...
Babylon Bee is fucking hilarious.
Babylon Bee actually became the funny satire site, and Onion just like fell by the wayside. Granted, Babylon Bee is a bunch of pro-Israel Zionist types, but they can still be funny from time to time.
Yeah. Yeah, the Babylon Bee is pretty goddamn hilarious. Some of the things that they come up with are just absolute gold. So, yeah, I mean, fucking Onion. I'm surprised they even have the money to buy that.
What has the Onion done to like generate revenue?
I haven't seen that shit since I was a kid, dude. Like 12, 13 years old was the last
They made
time
a movie. They made a movie at one time, like when they were hitting kind of the peak of their popularity, and then it feels like after the Onion movie came out, they just kind of started to like go downhill and fade off, and it got real political for a while. Like, and that's the problem is when you try to deliberately make political humor, it's not funny. Like they were going out of their way to try to make fun of right-wing stuff, and instead it just came across as heavy-handed instead of actually like funny. And that's what's funny about the Babylon Bee is because they also have Not the Bee, where it's real headlines that are more insane than the fake headlines that the Babylon Bee comes up with. That's what makes their shit entertaining.
Yeah, 100%. It's I don't know. I guess I'm always like impressed when they come up with like some really funny stuff, but I've never really sat around and tried to make fun, like thought about. I bet if I spent all my waking hours trying to come up with jokes, it'd be pretty fucking easy. Like the fact that the Onion is just not funny at all, hasn't had a good joke in a decade, it's pathetic. It's so easy to make fun of this stuff. Most of the time they're making fun of it themselves, and you just have to highlight it. Maybe they'll move over to Blue Sky. Has the Onion moved over to Blue Sky?
Probably.
There's a bunch of humorless fucks over there.
Speaking of the Babylon Bee, here's an interview being done by two Hollywood females that is almost indistinguishable from some shit from the Babylon Bee.
I'm a person, and I feel, and I have feelings, and I can share them.
And if you need to cry right now, you cry.
Yeah. And someone said to me once that the green was the thing that I would love the most of a bird, that I would want to stay green. But actually, being green, yes, I loved playing this character. But every time I took the makeup off, I loved who I was even more. So I've come away like feeling really beautiful.
It's just, you f***ing are.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I mean, God.
You
absolutely.
know?
Yeah. What you've brought to this film and to these characters, you've not just taken care of them, you have transformed them for good.
Thank you.
Really.
Thank you.
This is also my first time ever doing a jump.
You have been the light of the day. You are
truly-
such a gift.
You brought such light into the room. Thank you very much.
We appreciate
for coming
you.
into this room today. We needed to come in.
Bitches are crazy.
What are they wearing? What are these outfits that people are wearing? It looks like the chick in pink. She has it on backwards. Doesn't that look like the back of the outfit? And then this chick, I don't know what this is. She's wearing a tie, like a man. She has a blanket on. She's wearing a blanket. It's like one of the Snuggies.
I need a Snuggie. It's cold out here in the winter.
Yeah, dude, these people are fucking and so Wicked, I guess, is
and there's their interviewer. She looks like she's totally mentally stable.
Oh my god, yeah, this is like, oh god, who's raising these people? No wonder the left is so fucking pro-abortion. Jesus Christ, all their goddamn kids are lunatics. I mean, yeah, if you produced that, you'd be fucking pro-abortion too. All right, we got a few more minutes here. Should we queue up some shithole Chicago?
We've got some good shithole Chicago this week. Couple videos of all kinds of shenanigans.
Yeah, they're on a roll over there.
Walking down the street, the shithole Chicago, where the wind is cold
Yeah, here's the first night of teen mob rioting. This is lots of fun to be.
Get out, pussy! Hey, get the fuck out! Fuck that! Fuck that! Hey, stop popping out pussies! Y'all taking me? Hey, chill out. Nobody fighting. Y'all won't fight. Nobody fighting. Taking that. Hell no. I'm looking for what the fuck? Man, shut up. I still ain't getting no hood. Huh? Hey. Oh, yay! Yeah. What if they run it? Hey, I got a court date in next month. Come on, bro. We can't be doing this shit.
Yeah, I just think these kids, they need more after school programs, according to Mayor Brandon Johnson.
Yeah,
That'll
after
fix
school
them.
programs. I'm sure the after school programs will work out really well, considering that 4 in 10 of Chicago public school teachers were chronically absent last year from a job with a median salary of $95,000. So I'm sure these after school programs will work out real well when the teachers don't even fucking show up for like actual school.
Yeah, they're on strike again, I think. All about the children, obviously. Chronically absent. The kids are chronically absent. The teachers are chronically absent. But apparently they really care about the children, which is why they need to continue. Dude, $95K. And by the way, remember, they only work 9 months out of the year.
Right. So
prorate that salary. They're making 6 figures. They're doing a terrible job teaching kids. It's unbelievable, man. Fucking Chicago teachers unions. Oh God, yeah, a shithole. What a shithole of a city. The education system's unusable. The roads are undrivable. They just keep raising taxes. 35% tax on liquor now, alcohol.
I mean, there have been multiple nights of the teen riots. Let's check in on night number 2.
Dude, yeah, this happens a lot.
Working in the streets.
Working in the streets. Oh yeah.
At least the police actually showed up for this video.
Yeah, I mean, this is even when I was living there, you'd see these like flash mobs of teens. They run into malls and steal a bunch of shit, or they'd be dancing on jumping on buses and stuff like that. I think we've played that video before. These kids are out of fucking control. Where are the parents? Don't know. I don't think an after-school program with absentee teachers is going to do it. Yeah. So I saw another thing. They're like, nobody's coming into the city from the suburbs anymore to do shopping and things and eat at restaurants.
I wonder why.
Right. Why would you? You can't get on public transportation without getting fucking mugged. You can't drive through that. Stick to the suburbs. What a shithole of a city. Hence the name of the segment and the song. Oh yeah, by the way, somebody was asking where we got that song from. If you want, I responded to your comment, but I didn't. I can probably, if you want the song, hit me up on Twitter at Peddle Fiction, and I can probably send it to you. But we had a listener of the show created that upon my request using AI software. I don't really know how that works, but
created several different versions. As a matter of fact, that was actually my second choice. There was another version that I liked better, but and if you're a member of the Peddling Fiction private Facebook group, we actually posted all 4 of the different options and gave people a chance to vote because we love democracy around here.
And then I overrode all the I overrode the election.
Right. My pick actually won, and then we went with the one Johnny liked better anyway. So
that's right. Fuck democracy. But yeah, they were all pretty good. They were all pretty, like, shockingly good. That was a lot of fun. We'll have to come up with some more song segments that we can create songs for. Maybe one for the fat shaming. Although I do really like just using that clip from Zoolander or whatever. Is that Zoolander?
Yeah.
Great movie. Oh shit. Well, let's see. I think we have a bit of a shorter episode today. I don't know if you got anything else.
Not really. And so I'm not available during the day Friday. I got other shit going on, but we will be getting together with the morning show that I do for a Friday night episode. So if any of the like happy hour folks want in on that, hit me up. I'll shoot you a link for it. We will be doing a night episode, Black Friday night. Might be playing some games or something. We'll see. So if anybody wants in on that, just hit me up and let me know. We'll send out links for that.
All right. Yeah, that'll be fun. But yeah, I think, this is the time for everybody to take a step back, be with some family. Despite what some of these idiots are saying, don't have Thanksgiving with your family if they voted for Trump. Oh man, I think those people are probably doing you a favor for not inviting you or not coming to your thing.
Honestly, you probably want to go have Thanksgiving with your Trump supporting family members because they're the only ones who actually know how to cook.
Yeah, and they're just, I think overall, just more pleasant, happier people to be around. Like if there's somebody that's that upset over a presidential election that you want to write off family, don't get me wrong. There's plenty of reasons to write off crazy family members. The way they voted is probably not one. Like, just give them a little jazz. Get to give them a little jazz after a couple bottles of wine at your $58 dinner. So, yeah, I think we'll take the rest of the week off. Everybody enjoy your Thanksgiving dinner. Watch some football. Who are the Bears going to lose to this week? It's usually the Packers tomorrow.
Packers got the Dolphins.
Or the Lions. It's the Lions, I think. Bears,
I think
Lions.
it is the Lions.
Yeah. Yeah, Bears usually lose to the Lions on Thanksgiving Day. So that'll be fun. And it's football, and then we're in December. Holy shit. One more month of this year. And should be pretty regularly scheduled programming, I think, in December. I'm looking at the calendar right now. I think we'll probably take the Christmas week off. And maybe we'll do like one episode or something. New Year's it's going to be tough. That's going to be tough. New Year's Eve is on a Tuesday.
Yeah, Christmas Eve is on a Tuesday. We might Friday in on the Friday after Christmas and then maybe get the Friday after New Year's. Might work.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if I want to bring all my equipment to Milwaukee.
No.
But I'll think about it.
I usually take the whole month of December off for my personal show. I don't do anything.
Yeah, we might take the last week of the year and the first week of the year off, give people a break, and hit the ground running. 2025, what a year that's going to be.
I mean, we'll have the 4-year anniversary of January 6th to come back to the week after, after New Year's, and who knows? Maybe the left will try to stage their own J6.
That would be great. That would be wonderful. I can't, but 4 years, dude, it's so long ago, and they're still talking about it. Oh my God. And then, yeah, Jesus. Okay. Yep. I mean, there's just nothing you can do with those people. They're beyond reproach. You cannot help somebody that's still obsessed with January 6th. A mild, Even by any riot standard, that's like just a pathetic riot. And there's still people in fucking prison for it. So,
right.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see. We'll see what happens when Trump gets into office. And hopefully
he has said he's going to take the J6 cases on a case-by-case basis with the ones who are still like facing charges and in jail and stuff. But I can't imagine that any of them actually did anything that would constitute not pardoning them and just moving on, like dropping all charges and moving on with life. Like,
yeah, I mean, even if you were like on the one side that was like fighting with the cops and everything, and you broke some windows or whatever, okay, yeah, like that's, I think time served is more than enough for that. Fucking 3-4 years in prison, okay, yeah, that's good. And then there's the people that just were escorted into the building by police. That's ridiculous. They deserve some compensation. If they've been in jail for that. But yeah, hopefully he lets those people go, pardons Ross Albright day one. I really hope he comes through on that. I keep seeing, you get tweets from him every once in a while. He's like, holy shit, dude. The reality of me actually being able to get out of prison after 10 fucking years is like starting to hit. And I'm like, oh, dude, I really hope they don't pull the rug out from under him. That would just be so fucking cruel. So fucking cruel for starting a website. So, but yeah, hopefully that's one of the promises Donald Trump will keep. He's vowed for some tariffs, 25% on Canada and Mexico. That's got all the lefty economists. They're all experts on the economy now and how that's going to really hurt the economy.
Did you see the ones that are saying, well, tariffs are actually just like adding a tax to these corporations and they'll pass that tax along to the consumer? It's like, when y'all were trying to raise corporate taxes on all of these companies, you were like, no, that's not the way it happens. They don't pass the taxes on to the consumer. But now when it's a tariff, you say the tariff is the same as the tax and the tax is going to get passed on. Like, which one is it? Fucking moron.
Yeah, right. And they say the same thing about, using tax policy to affect behavior, which is more what Magoo's saying that Donald Trump is trying to do here, using it as leverage, art of the deal. He makes the greatest deals, of course, but it's like, if we put a tax on cigarettes, people will stop smoking cigarettes. Like, okay, but then you put a tax on something else and you're not going to get the same result. You're not going to get less of that behavior. You tax work, you get less work. So yeah, it's the cognitive dissonance of these people is something I'll never understand, but it is impressive to watch them operate. So, but yeah, I think that's all I got today too. We can get out of here a little bit early, let people get their Wednesday started right. Don't drink too much tonight. You still got tomorrow and Friday and Saturday.
I already started.
You already started. I haven't. There is no Thanksgiving here. This is just another week for me here, but we'll see what happens. I got a guy coming to work, some maintenance guy coming to do some work here, and then we'll see. We'll see, because yeah, there's not much for me to do after today anyway. No more markets to trade, no podcasts to do, so I'll be hanging out, getting some sun maybe, some beach walks, you know the drill. So until next week, guys, until Tuesday, you know what to do. Just keep on peddling that so-called fiction. Adios.